Hi, this is Mingyang from the University of Pennsylvania. I'm going to present a paper on studying politeness across cultures using English Twitter and Mandarin Weibo. Politeness manifests differently in different cultures. That is to say, different cultures have different understandings and expressions on politeness strategies. If we assume that other cultures make the same choices, we may misunderstand each other. For this paper, we focus on politeness across languages. Especially, we consider the American English and the Mandarin Chinese that is used in mainland China. Here are some examples of misunderstanding. In Mandarin Chinese, it is common to say, "Come and eat with us, or I'll get mad at you." This may sound utterly rude in English, but is actually an expression of hospitality in Mandarin speakers. On the English side, many people will say, "Great job," or "Keep it up," when they want to encourage their friends. Well, this may sound really condescending to a Chinese speaker. This is because in some parts of the Chinese culture, it is a privilege of the people with a higher status to comment on or to judge other people's performance. Now let's talk about the methods. So first, we want to gather up all the datasets that we are going to use. We take Weibo posts posted by users claiming to be from mainland China as our Chinese corpus. We also take Twitter tweets that are geotagged within the United States as our English corpus. Next, we had native speakers annotate our corpus. We obtained two labels for each of the posts in each dataset, and we had 5,300 posts annotated on each side of Weibo and Twitter. Next, we counted words by category according to three psycholinguistical dictionaries. The first we used is called Linguistic Inquiry and Word Count, which maps words into topics, functional words, and other features. Another dictionary we used is the Emolex, which maps words into emotions such as happy and disgust. Lastly, we also developed our own lexicon that we named Politeness. It maps words to politeness or impoliteness strategies. Here is a preview of what each Twitter post would look like if counted according to Luke. Here is our politeness lexicon. It is designed to work on both English and Chinese. Here are some cool findings. Almost all usages of pronouns correlate with impoliteness in Mandarin Chinese. This agrees with the fact that the Chinese language is pro-drop. That is to say, pronouns are usually dropped in spoken Chinese. If someone started using pronouns out of the blue, they risk sounding a bit out of place. Second, it is polite to blend in. For example, some posts may say, "Hey, we're on the same boat." That is a show of affiliation. This is more true on the Chinese side than on the American side. This agrees with the fact that China has a collectivist culture. Third, Chinese focus more on the future. This finding agrees with the Hofstede's model of cultural dimensions. Finally, looping back to one of our examples of misunderstanding, praises can be rude in the Chinese culture. The politeness feature of praise clearly shows this tendency. After the correlational studies, we also ran predictive studies. We trained predictors with support vector machines and on two datasets, the Stanford Politeness Corpus and the Twitter Weibo Politeness Corpus that we introduced a moment ago. Here's the F1 scores tested on the Stanford Politeness Corpus. We can see that with the combination of Luke and the Politeness, we are achieving a 3% enhancement from the Stanford Politeness API. The Stanford Politeness API is an estimator that uses both token-based features and parse tree-based features. We are happy to see that using only lexical-based features, we are able to outperform the Stanford Politeness API. Next, we have the F1 scores for predicting the politeness on our microblog corpora. Here we also see that the combination of Luke, Emolex, and Politeness achieves the best performance overall on both sides. In particular, on Twitter, we achieved almost an 18% enhancement from the Stanford Politeness API. We still have future work to be done, mainly detecting and removing biases in the datasets collected and making the features in Politeness to be more equivalent and comparable across cultures. That is all. Thank you, and our code can be found at this link.